And this is how you don't do it. So, all right, look. This is Nuby. That over there is Kym. Why she showed up, I don't know, because I told Lorraine to take her off the list, but somehow she still got here. So, anyway, this is Nuby, Kym with the Kym and Nuby show, and we're here with the wonderful, fabulous Lorraine, Bailey.
I love it.
Carter.
Bailey Carter. Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Women's challenge.
Thank you.
All right. So what's going on? You have something big coming up.
I do. I'm so excited and nervous at the same time.
Yeah.
But we have our first annual Fall Wine Fest tomorrow. We have Fashion Fair sponsoring, and they're going to be tomorrow doing free makeovers.
Ooh.
And they've even picked up some of Baltimore makeup artists.
Do they do makeovers for men?
I think so.
Please, if you
I think
got
so.
look, Fashion Fair, look, if you got clothes and makeup, that's the one deal.
Yes, I think so. They're going to be there. They're doing free makeovers. They've got some giveaways. Some wine tasting going on. You get 10 pours free, and then after that you can buy your own glass of wine or a bottle.
So you get 10 free pours.
10 free pours. Total combined of the outlets that are there.
Combined. Per person.
Per person. Per person.
Okay, because I got like 5 different ideas.
There you go.
I will be there.
There you go.
Each person will get.
I know 10 free pours, right? Right.
I got ID for everyone.
Y'all don't.
No. So, okay, what is the purpose of the Women's Challenge?
So the Women's Challenge, we are a nonprofit organization, and we have a twofold mission. One is about financial fortitude. So this event tomorrow is to help raise funds for home ownership for single women with children, because our mission is for women, for girls to women. The second leg we do is for health, a health initiative. So we honor women with major medical conditions. So the conditions that we'll typically honor someone for is those that are related to women conditions. So we'll have like breast cancer, lupus, we've had a few we spill over, sickle cell, cervical cancer, things of that nature. So we honor these women because even though they may have this condition, it doesn't stop them from helping other women that too have the same condition.
So the recipients, are they local?
You mean for the women?
For the women, yeah.
Okay. So for the home ownership component, they are Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Prince George's County.
Okay, so.
And Harford County.
So the ticket sales goes towards that. So that's important because your ticket sales are going to local people.
Yes.
So you know where it's going,
yes.
right?
We are local. We are a 501c3. You can find us on the federal government. Yes, we have a number.
So
it's
you're
still
on
in
that
good
list.
Yes, we're on the list. We're on the good list.
Not the
We
one.
pay our taxes every year. Yes, we are. And so what we try to do is raise the funds so that we can support a woman with children, single woman, with down payment and a closing cost assistance. We are a part of the Maryland Mortgage Program, which means the state of Maryland matches up to $2,500. So if we give 5, they give 5. If we give 25, they give 25, right? So there are times that we may not have funds, but what we'll do is we may find a partner and that will be able to provide us, like say for instance, you're buying a home and you need the home needs to be completely painted. So this time, for this event, our partner is Sherman Williams in Bel Air in Harford County, and they are providing the paint. We have a young lady going to settlement probably by the end of the month, and they are providing the paint 100% for the house.
Oh, wow.
And not just white paint. So whatever color she chooses is the color that they provide.
So they're helping her to make it a home.
Exactly. So it's not always that we have cash money, but we do have things that we can provide from other business partners to allow the homeowner to make it a home for her and her children.
So how do you go about selecting the recipients?
Well, we have a way that we get a lot of requests as well. So what we do is we try to go from the needed, the most needed.
Okay.
So if you are making $100,000, we can't help you, because what happens is $100,000 with no children, and we get a lot of calls like that too. So the state of Maryland, we go by what they dictate, because there are criteria that if they don't give the funds, then we can't give the funds. Meaning, if you don't meet their criteria, then we can't help, because remember, it's a match program.
Yeah, you're trying to get that match.
Exactly.
So if you do make 100,000 and you have no kids, really?
Why you call? Why you call?
Financial counseling.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, good. What be wrong?
Okay. So they have to meet that same criteria.
Same criteria that they would meet for the Maryland
For the
Mortgage
Maryland Mortgage
Program.
Program.
And as long as we have the funds, what we do is we'll take the needed first. And there are times that we may even help a man if he's a single parent with children, provided the funds are there. How many
Where
children?
did you start?
How many
I
children?
got 3.
All right now.
What are the ages of the children?
I would say,
That shouldn't
and
be
we
worried.
not,
Children.
now if these are adult children,
If these are adult children,
of
I
course
just
a
feel
woman
comfortable
with
with my
young
insurance.
children are going to take precedent over an 18-year-old or 35-year-old child.
They ain't 35 years.
So,
No, all mine are grown.
Okay.
All mine are grown.
you don't qualify.
So I don't qualify.
you qualify for other things, but not that.
You know what? That's fair. Guess who qualifies for that? Thank you, Lorraine.
So let's talk about the Fall Wine Fest.
So, Fall Wine Fest, we have a few wineries that will be there.
Oh, nice.
They will be serving up, and again, at a point, you'll be able to purchase a glass, because typically at Wine Fest, you can only get like a little tester.
Yeah.
Right.
But, wineries, they have a different rule that they go by, because they're state mandated.
Okay.
So you can't buy a glass of wine, you can't buy a bottle of wine. You cannot consume the bottle of wine at the event, but you can take it home. The glass of
That's
wine,
important.
glass of wine is free to consume at the event.
That's very important.
You might want to say that again. Because remember, I'm bringing 5 of these.
That's right, you did say that. So the bottle you have to take home, the glass you can consume at the event.
Okay, so where could people purchase tickets? Because it's
Tickets.
tomorrow.
It is absolutely
Yeah,
tomorrow.
so
The
we can-
tickets, you can go to our website, and that's www.womenschallenge.net, www.womenschallenge.net. And by tomorrow at 4 o'clock, the ticket price will change, so get your tickets today. Once the doors open for the Wine Fest, and again, remember, 4 to 6 Wine Fest, 6 o'clock, we'll have Mr. Lattimore in the hall, along with other artists. They'll be selling their merchandise, signing CDs, any merchandise they have, t-shirts, whatever they have, will start tomorrow at 6. But you'll be able to get wine all day until we shut down.
Okay.
We have vendors there tomorrow as well. We got a full lobby, and Fashion Fair is taking up over half of the lobby. So they're gonna have a full display, booth set up. So come out, get your free makeovers, and patronize them, and you get a free gift.
Oh, right. So can people buy tickets at the door?
They can, but
Okay.
remember, after 4, they will increase. And
Tickets
always,
down.
at the door tickets
Yeah.
are more than if you get them online. So please patronize, because it is a donation. It is a tax deductible donation. Whatever you give us, we'll get back on Uncle Sam's word. You do get a receipt, and it does give you our tax deductible number. So if you ever need to cross-reference that, you'll always be able to find who we are and where we are.
Okay. So the cool thing about today is we're giving you a behind the scenes of what to expect tomorrow. So we have a couple of people that we want to bring up.
Yes,
That's okay.
absolutely.
All right. So we want to first start with Leonard Young.
Yes,
one of
Mr.
the
Leonard,
sponsors.
come on up.
Mr. Leonard, one of the sponsors.
All right, now, so that means I gotta get home.
You know what? You ain't gotta go. But
I
you
don't-
gotta get out of here. Where are you gonna sit? No, we
All
right.
right.
Right. Me and all my 5 friends.
Now, you know what?
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.
Sure, no
Thank you for
problem.
being willing to sit next to
Thank
me.
you.
No, so okay. Very young. Tell us
Right.
about your organization.
Yeah.
What you do.
Sure. So basically we have a business called MBG Network. So we have 14 different city websites where we promote positivity in the African American community. We promote local events, black businesses. We do a lot of advertising and marketing. So here in Baltimore, we have a site called BaltimoreBlack.com. So we do a lot of promo through that site. We have DCBlack.com, Delaware, Newark, New Jersey, New York, LA, Chicago, Houston, Birmingham. So, you know, like, I think long story short, kind of like how like ABC, NBC has an affiliate in every city. We're looking to have like a website affiliate in every city and just promote positivity.
That's what's up.
Because we need to promote some positivity over here because I know. So in your website, what exactly are you, I mean, we understand you promote positivity, but what does that mean?
Gotcha.
So how would I want to come to your website?
Sure. So like the way I always think about it is because I lived in Florida, Texas, Philly, Delaware, and you know all those places has some type of like black media.
Yeah.
Now when I came to Delaware's in the Philadelphia media market. So the only time that they came to Delaware, someone got robbed, shot, killed, stabbed, house fire, drugs, that type of thing. So we want to focus on the different stuff. So I know like Delaware is probably just, and you know a lot of people don't know how bad Wilmington is, but like Wilmington was voted. Yeah. So like Wilmington was voted one of the most dangerous. Actually, they wrote it #1. They were called Murder Town USA. And a lot of people don't know that, but Jada Pinkett was their star in an ABC show about the city of Wilmington, but you know the residents kind of didn't want that reputation for it as well. So anyway, but you know, yeah. Long story short, we try to focus on people who are doing positive things. So like I know some of our recent things is just random websites, like especially youth who are doing something positive. Business owners, people doing local events, because you know I think the biggest thing is, you know, we get bombarded with the negative, and sometimes we like, you know, they don't always promote the positive.
So the positive is overlooked or overshadowed by you know, something negative that's going on.
Right.
So why go there?
Okay, appreciate it.
So how does that relate to Queen's Challenge?
Gotcha. Okay, so I met Miss Lorraine probably about, I don't know where she's at now, but I probably met her about 5 years ago. And you know, when I met her through like a family member. And you know, she told me about the organization, and it sounded like a great cause. And then plus, some of the events she was doing kind of worked well with some of like the promotion I was doing. So you know, of course, I became a board member, and I was a board member for a long time. And then I wasn't a board member, and now I'm back to being a board member. But you know, like one thing I like about Miss Lorraine, she definitely has a passion for what she does. And I mean, like, she's probably one of the hardest working people because, you know, I think anybody who does events recognizes that at the beginning, you have like a whole team. And when you get to the day of the event, it'd be like 1 or 2 people running around with that call.
Like 2 people showed up.
Right. Right, exactly. So, you know, like that's one thing I admire about Miss Lorraine, is her passion for, you know, helping women who are disadvantaged. And, you know, like, she has her events consistent, you know, and I think you kind of gotta give her kudos for somebody who's that passionate and, like, to be honest, who doesn't quit. Right.
So your role in the Fall Wine Fest is what?
So my role in this one may be a little more limited than the other one.
Okay.
But you know, long story short, just helping with some of the promotion, helping with some of the social media. I will be there probably early tomorrow, helping out, you know, getting stuff set up.
Okay.
Yep.
You gonna be drinking wine?
I sure will. Definitely.
Let's be honest.
Yep,
How
no doubt
many
about it.
pours you get?
You know the rules, right?
So the rules are probably for the people who buy tickets, but but you know, we may be behind the scenes. We may get something else.
How many pours you get?
I don't know. We'll
Don't
see.
worry about that. He just said we. That's perfect for me to help.
Right.
Yeah, we're good. We're drinking up. Don't tell Frank though. But no, okay, so with everything that you do, I mean, how can someone find you?
Gotcha. So probably the easiest thing is if you go to mbgnetwork.com. So we have a list of all our websites. We're in 14 different cities. We're also partnered with Black Expo USA. So we're going to be doing Black Expos all around the country. We're also partnered with the Miss Black America pageant as well. So in every city, of course, they're looking for contestants because next year is going to be their 50th
They're
anniversary.
looking for contestants.
She ain't
Miss
weird.
Black America.
She ain't weird.
Oh, were you?
Wait a minute, no.
I don't know.
She didn't make one off.
Gotcha.
No, actually, her Uber drove past the spot. But he'll be back.
Gotcha.
No, okay, so they can find you there at your
Right.
website. And 14 cities is a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's not a
So,
small
I
amount.
mean, we have a lot of writers, we have a lot of contributors. I know Nicole over there, she's one of our best Baltimore ones.
Cole, the best Baltimore contributor.
All right, cool.
All right. So we look forward to seeing you
Appreciate
tomorrow.
it, thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna hang with you
Okay.
because you know there's a bit more force than anybody else. Right.
Sounds
All right. So we have a special guest that's coming up right now. Is the host of the Fall Wine Fest.
Yes, he's the host. So he's
Didn't I
just
just
not
say
like
that? Didn't I
somebody.
just say that?
Kim, let me finish my line. I wrote this down last night. He is the host. Yeah, he's the host. But no. Actually, no. Orville the poet is the host of the event, and he's going to be coming on stage. Actually, right now.
Yeah.
How you doing? Orville, what's up, man?
How are you?
Good, great.
Good. Oh, that's a poet. I know you all in the DMV know who this is.
Yeah, you have got to know who he is. You've heard him talk, you've heard him spit, you've heard him go ahead and just lay it down. Dude,
And
he's
such
like
a humble person.
amazing.
He's
And
so
he's like
humble.
super humble.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't gonna catch me up. I appreciate that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
you ain't that humble.
Yeah.
I've seen better.
Okay, all right.
No. You good, man. So, okay, so you're hosting this event.
I'm hosting the event. Super
Yeah.
excited about it.
Right.
When I got the call, I was like, hello? Me? You know you called Orville, right? So I'm super honored. Super honored.
So you are so busy. I mean, you are everywhere. You are everywhere.
I wish I had one more me so I could do this.
And so when you get that one more, you can use it for the four.
Y'all are serious about this. I like what Plan said though. He was like, yeah, that's for the people that don't take this.
Right.
I'll be having this much fun. Hopefully we can ship it.
So let us know what's your latest project.
So the latest project, actually released a project
Yeah.
recently called Soul of a Man, Volume 1.
Okay.
It's my first project ever. I feel very blessed to be in the position I'm in and the platforms I've been given and never released any body of work. And so I thought it was time to release something. And I spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of bread on it, and really did it right. And it's been getting a great response. It's available on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, everywhere music is available for download. And it's an EP, 7 tracks, and I put my whole heart and soul into it. And I'm really proud of it.
So is that why you call it Soul?
The soul of a man, yeah, because we know that. So the soul of a man is passionate, it's romantic, it's angry, it's determined. It's a myriad of emotions, and this really from track 1 to 7, you go through a lot. And I've been through a lot this past 2 years. And and that's why I really rock with what Lorraine is doing and her nonprofit, because the recipients who she's working with is my mom's story. Now, a lot of people don't know my mom, like my story with my mom. My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 adenocarcinoma cancer on June 23rd, 2015. On August 5th, 2015, lost her fight. Like boom, gone. Right, so she was a single mother, right? You know what I mean? I love her to death. I miss her, and I feel like a piece of me is gone that I'll never get back. But she made me promise that she was like, yo, you have a gift, and the gift is only a gift unless it's being given away. Like she literally wrote that in her phone before she passed for me in her phone, so we could read it. Yeah,
So being raised by a single mother, and who you are, I mean, and so did you ever miss having a male figure, or did you have a male figure?
So let me clear this up. So my mom and my dad separated.
Okay.
So I still know my dad. We have a great relationship now, and you know what I mean. But it was a period of time where it was just up. And I was blessed to have uncles and people in my community in my mom's circle of friends that really were there for me. Like, you know, taught me how to, you know, treat a lady, taught me how to shave, taught me how to, you know.
Can you teach him?
Hey man, y'all be joning.
God, somebody teach him how to shave.
Yeah.
Passion paper. Somebody.
So with everything, with poetry, poetry, what was poetry to you? What got you involved in poetry?
So, crazy, right? So I always was an avid reader. My mom loved the Ben Carson book early, right? Like Gifted Hands.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to read that backwards and forwards. So like Ben Carson's mom had him do book reports. Oh, my mom was like, "Oh, you gonna do book reports?"
My dad.
So you know that was me. So I was an avid reader, and I was always a grade above in English and reading in my grade level. And so one day we were going to a family function. My aunt was retiring. She was like, "I should do something for her." I was like, "What? I feel the same." She was like, "I don't know, write a poem." Just like that. Took a piece of paper. I was like 14. Took a piece of paper with me. I wrote in the car. It was like a 30-minute ride. I wrote back and front, and I delivered it at the event. And my mom was sitting with a jaw drop, like, and people were going to congratulate my mom because it was like, "Yo, that was well written. You wrote that really well."
Okay.
They thought she wrote it.
Okay.
And my mom was like, "Yo, he wrote that in the car." So that was my first experience with poetry. You know, I didn't study it. I wrote it one time, what I thought, and changed my life.
So from that, have you like? I can tell you have only because of the work that you do and listening to you. You found a value and appreciation of words itself.
Definitely, definitely. I was taught early. So my whole family is born and raised in Jamaica. I am one of very few Jamaicans in my family that were born here but raised there. Right. You already understand that. So I was taught at a young age that what you say means a lot. It carries a lot of responsibility. So be careful what you say. You know, my mom was a big, very spiritual. She said, you know, the power, life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so at an early age, I knew that words are powerful. So, you know, with poetry, I just found that outlet to, you know, tell my story.
So how do you get the flow though?
Yeah.
Flow with it. I mean, I can try, but it's like, just read about it. You flow with it, where it just like runs like
so
what?
A mentor of mine asked me, this is maybe 2009, 2010 when I really started to take it seriously. He was like, "Yo, how many poems have you written?" I was like, "Maybe like 20. He was like, "Nah, how many poems have you written?" I was like, "Bro, I just told you 20. He was like, "You don't start writing until you tell the truth. So I'll ask you again, how many poems have you written?" I was like 10. He's like, "Okay, writing." So I think you can tell that an artist is genuinely going through whatever it is they're portraying through their art. You can tell. You can tell if it's fabricated. You can just tell if this person is speaking from a place of vulnerability. Of they really went through this. And I try not to pick up the pen and put anything down that I don't really feel. So I guess that's where the flow per se comes from.
So you sing?
I sing now. So good. Y'all about to put me on the spot to sing?
No, but if you need that,
I'm not like Kenny singing though. You know what I mean? Like Kenny sing. You know what I mean? He sang.
But you like sing?
I finesse.
I didn't know that was a genre.
I just made it up just now.
Okay.
I finesse. But no, I'm yes, I am. I'm singing now. I wanted to really just push past my comfort zone and try something different. And I think I'm a great finesser.
show us.
Show you.
So that's, do you mind before it's experiencing the
We're going to have some words off camera.
I'm I'm ready for you.
All right, so
And let me know if you need backup.
let me see. I get lost in your hair. I get lost when you're near. It's a little bit. Vanessa, see?
I was about to chime in, but I couldn't find
I
it.
can pay you. You can buy your key.
No, that's good, man. That's good. So, okay, so tomorrow you're hosting the event.
Tomorrow I'm hosting.
You're gonna give us some poetry.
Awesome.
Are you gonna do some stuff?
I'm not gonna say.
Okay.
I just gotta be there.
So you gotta be there. So
Gotta
if
be
you
there.
want to hear him, you gotta be there. Can we get just a sample?
Just
Just like a little bit.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll give you this one. Let me see. Okay, so this song is Caribbean reggae infused, and the chorus
Spicy.
is spicy, right? And so when you
Do I need some more?
when you don't need no more. When you first hear it, you're gonna think maybe it's a sad song, but it's actually a celebratory song. But what I want to do with my art is like clean up the language, right? Because when the worst thing you can tell someone going through tragedy, like I lost my mom, and I know it doesn't come from a place of malice, but people are like, man, you good, you be strong, you good. That's the worst thing you can tell somebody going through tragedy.
Right.
So the chorus goes, a handkerchief will never wipe these tears away. I pray to God he told me, yeah, they're here to stay. People say, you're strong, dog, you'll be okay, until their family members start to pass. So I'm gonna give you some. A handkerchief will never wipe these tears away. Pray to God he told me, yeah, they're here to stay. People say you're strong, dog, you'll be okay. Till their family members start to pass away. Till they start to pass away. I pray. I look up to the clouds like every day. Drop my tears to my knees and I sit and pray. Looking for my mama in the clouds now. Some days I stay there, can't come down. But when I sit and focus just upon her face, all the sadness in my chest, it evaporates. Now I'm reminded of the Savior grace. See my mama bringing manga up to the heaven gates. Handkerchief will never wipe these tears away. Pray to God he told me, yeah, they're here to stay. People say you're strong, dog, you'll be okay. Till their family members start to pass away. Till they start to pass away. I pray. And to get the rest of that, you gotta come to the show tomorrow.
Wait a minute, did y'all hear that accent come out?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit here and talk to you later. Where did that come
I
from?
told you I'm Jamaican. I got it. It's in.
It was hidden the entire time, and then snuck up on us.
Yeah, you like work. I'll be talking on the phone and then. Is that like? Where did that come from? What language are you talking?
Right.
It's really, it's broken English, bro. But man, I'm super excited about it.
So we're excited. We're excited to be there. We definitely gonna be there. Any wine that you are not consuming while you're up there singing, it will be consumed. And then, once you come off stage, if anything is left in that bottle is yours.
Okay, all right. I appreciate it. I'm gonna take it home because I'm gonna follow the rules.
Yes,
Right, I'm gonna follow the rules.
Yes,
She
we
said
follow the
no
rules.
consumption. All right, I'm gonna follow the rules. I won't get kicked out.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes.
So you can find me on all social media at Orville the Poet. And Orville is spelled just like Orville Redenbacher, like you're probably thinking right now. Orville, not D-A. We try to teach kids how to spell. Orville the Poet, all one word, no space. That's on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, overthepoet.com, Over the Poet on Facebook. What I'm saying is Over the Poet. And if you forget, I'm Googleable. So you just put in OTP or however you think it's spelled, and my page will pop up. I paid for that service, so it better work.
I know.
So for anybody that cannot make it tomorrow, which shouldn't be nobody, everybody should be there.
You really should be there.
Where can they see you or where can they find you?
So I also host at some of you guys familiar with Busboys and Poets. I host at every second Monday of the month at the Brookland location, Busboys and Poets, right by Catholic University. Also host every first Wednesday of the month, Pure Poetry DC, which I'm very proud, saw 5 years this year in June. It's every first Wednesday of the month at Pure Lounge right down U Street. Right down the street from Ben's Chili Bowl. Right across the street from 11.
Yeah.
I'm a foodie. I know all the food spots out. Yeah, don't let the
I
size
don't
food.
know,
You know what? I have a gym membership and I pay my gym membership in full. Not for the year, it's monthly. A brother wasn't popping that down at one time for the year. But,
so you're coming up and coming at one semester. What do you tell them? What's the tip?
So here's the tip. And it saddens me to see adults, and I think maybe in the next couple of years, I'm going to have a workshop to teach adults and specifically parents how to readily see their child's creativity and what their passion may or may not be. Because sometimes I see kids who love to draw, and because they're drawing on the walls or things that should be drawn, they're just getting disciplined, but they're not given that avenue to push that creative juices. You know what I mean? So there's no key. There's no special thing. Get busy doing what you love to do. Period. Don't listen to the people. You need this degree. You need to go get this workshop. You need. Man, I'm so glad I stopped listening to people. I'm so glad I stopped listening. Everyone was like, yo, you got to do slams. You'll never make it doing poetry, not doing slams. I ain't never did not one slam. I did poetry at the White House last year.
Wow.
Like,
not everybody can say they did that.
you know what I mean? And that's not a brag or boast because I'm trying to push the culture forward, period. You know what I mean? But I just don't like when we try to pigeonhole.
But you know that's one of the great things about being in your purpose. To me, when you're in your purpose, every door is gonna open for you.
Here's what I know. When you find your purpose, it's a crash course into your gift. And when you start working fervently in that, the aftermath is passion. Because now you wake up early in the morning and do it all day, you do it for free, simply because you love it. And the more you give, the more you be given to give, and so forth and so on. And so it's people that I know that are super talented, but because you can't be a boxer because you have this great paying job. Who says that? You know what I mean? Wake up and do what you love. Everybody right here, right now, listening, has something they love to do. You wake up thinking about it. You go to sleep thinking about it. That's what you should be doing. Because you only see the best you have to offer the world when you're doing what you love to do. Right? That's why you love to do it.
He Orville the prophet, baby.
That's right.
I'm just super passionate about it.
No, and I love it. I love it because that's honestly, that's what people need to hear.
Yeah.
That's what we need to hear. That's what we need to have that push down our throat, as opposed to anything negative.
Stop fighting what's in you.
Yeah.
For so long, I was like, man, I can't do poetry because everybody said it ain't gonna make no money. I can't do poetry because, everybody want me to go do this. Everybody, hey, what you want to do? I want to do poetry. Okay. So here's the thing. Everybody asks, man, what's your plan B though? What's your plan B, C? Stick to plan A. Stick to plan A. These other options take away your intensity of plan A.
Exactly.
So this is what I'm rocking with until the wheels fall off. My name's Orville the poet.
I know that's right.
So.
You don't know, We're excited about that.
I'm excited.
Hey, I'm like really excited.
Kenny is like, I grew up listening to this guy.
Okay, so you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
I think you just do an age. Wait a minute. And so, okay, and so that was recently. I don't know how I feel about it.
Nah, it wasn't recently.
No, I grew up listening to it too.
Yeah.
Kym.
It's Orville, the exit now.
Oh.
Because
I'm sorry. But no, it's an honor to meet this brother. And, you know, who'd ever thought I'd be here?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm very, very, very honored to be here. Very honored.
honored that you're here with us.
Yeah.
You dropped some serious honor.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you. So, Orville the poet everywhere.
Orville the poet.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Poet.
You guys show up.
Exit stage left.
So, right now, we have a special guest that's coming. It is, I think it's a ghost of this hotel. So, actually, no, yeah. You ready for it?
All right.
I see you on the side.
He's awestruck.
I'm awestruck, but I ain't gonna show it. Give me a moment.
He doesn't get this excited about women.
So, anyway, there's this singer that's gonna be there. And she can belt out some notes.
I'm telling you, man.
So, you want me to introduce her?
You can introduce her because you can have the love fest over there. Go on and introduce her.
No, you introduce her. I gotta say it because my spite. Okay. Anyway. Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
All right, I want to steal your glory. Anyway, Carrone. She's here. Beautiful. Can you
This is
come up?
Carrone Jones, everybody.
Can you come
Talented. Good.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
Thank you
coming.
for being here. This is like a great honor. I mean, we're honored that everybody is here.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, it doesn't matter who you are. With Kym and Nuby, we are like, I mean, honestly, we're like honored that everybody is here. So everybody in the room, we're honored by your presence. We're honored by your gifts. We're honored by your talent. We're honored by the fact that you give back to everybody, that you're reaching out to give back. So with that said, let's keep this honor going this way. Right? So, talk to us, gorgeous. Okay, so you are here, and you're singing tomorrow.
I am.
Yeah.
And well, Bernie just told my ear and tell me, you can sing something. Somebody gonna harmonize with.
Don't give him advice.
I'm gonna play this song. I'm playing this what I know. But no, talk to us. So you're here tonight, and you're gonna be tomorrow. You're gonna be performing.
Yes, I'm so excited about that. Yes, to be a part of the show sponsored by the Women's Challenge, Miss Lorraine Bailey Carter. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman. I appreciate her, all that she's done for me so far with my music career. So I'm just excited to see Mr. Kenny Lattimore. Oh my God. I'm so happy to share the stage with him. So I'm really excited.
So what is your affiliation with Women's Challenge?
My affiliation with the Women's Challenge, I love Lorraine. It's been some years, I don't know how many years, but she's always supporting me. Whatever she's doing, if I'm available, she's like, hey, are you available? If I'm available, I'm there. And she's always been there for me, so I do appreciate the Women's Challenge and what they do, what they stand for, helping women, helping families. So anytime I can be a part, I would love to.
So have you always sang?
I've always, since I can remember. They said since I was a baby. Really? So I love to sing. Grew up singing in the church.
Yeah.
So branched out as a solo artist in 1998. So I've been doing it for a little while, and I'm just happy I'm about this journey.
Okay.
Just looking forward to what the Lord is going to do for me.
So in your branching out, was it difficult to go somewhere?
It was very difficult for me because I was always a background singer. I was always going through. My mother at the time was the soloist and the lead. So branching out on my own, it was that fear factor, like, I don't know if I can do it, I can stand on my own. And, but in 1998, when I did an event at the Lyric, I think it solidified what I was feeling and our call to be a singer.
Okay. All right. And so, what genre of music do you sing?
I sing anything.
Anything?
That the Lord allows
That's
Of course, my foundation is gospel.
Yeah.
R&B, soul, jazz, little jazz, whatever I can hear and listen and like, I'm gonna learn it and I'm gonna sing.
All right.
So tomorrow we're gonna hear a little bit of everything.
You're gonna hear a little bit of everything. I'm gonna teach a little bit of the old, the new, some familiar, the unfamiliar. I'm just re-releasing my project on Friday, so I'll probably be doing a song or two from my project. So
Let's talk about the project. What is it called?
it's called The Best in Me.
The best.
That's in me. Independent is a gospel project, inspirational gospel. And I'm so excited about it. It's a lot of original material on there. It's just my life struggles, my life journey, and how my faith helped me to overcome a lot of my trials and tribulations.
So why the best?
The best in me, because no matter what happens in life, sometimes we feel like we're not good enough, and we go through a lot of things, and people say you're not pretty enough, you're not small enough, you're not whatever, but no matter what, God sees the best in each and every one of us, and He never gives up on us.
That's right.
And He looks beyond our many faults to see our needs. So that's
Right.
So on the best of me, if you had to pick a favorite track,
favorite track. It varies depending on the situation that I'm going through. And sometimes, those songs speak to you, but it's a song on there called Everything He's Already Worked It Out. A lot of times we mess up because we try to put our hands into it and try to fix it ourselves instead of just letting God do it. So that's one of my favorites right there.
All right. So can you share just a little bit of what you want to say?
I want to share a little bit.
again,
Anybody?
let me know if you need help. I'm here, I'm available. It's free.
Do a little bit from one of my favorite artists, Mr. Aretha Franklin.
Okay. All right.
So this is one of my favorite songs. So I'm gonna do it tomorrow, Lord willing. He's the kind of guy that will say, hey baby, let's get away. Let's go someplace far where I don't care. He's the kind of guy that you give your everything, you trust your heart, share all of your love, to death do us part. Yeah. I wanna be where he wants and when he wants it and whenever he needs it. Yes. And when he's lonesome and feeling love starved, I'll be there to feed it. Loving him a little bit more each day turns me right on just to hear him say, hey baby, let's get away, let's go someplace far. Baby, can we?
Okay.
Good singer, and you could just sit down and
I mean, she was sitting right. That's hard to do. Just sit
I was
down
gonna
and
jump
sing.
in, but you ain't stand up. You gotta stand up and sing. So that's why I ain't jump in. I would have helped you. Can you give me the words, man?
So tell everybody where they can find
Yes.
you at.
Well, they can find me, I'm on Facebook. They can look me up, Facebook, Carrone Jones. Like you spell my name, Carronne. Also, I'm
Not
on,
Karen.
Not Karen.
Or Korean.
Not Crayon. But I'm also on Twitter, Instagram at Carrone Jones. So just look me up.
All right.
So, and where we can find your new project is coming out on Friday.
My new project will be out Friday. Released, available on all your digital media. So please support. It's called The Best in Me, the Deluxe Edition. So
the Deluxe Edition.
Deluxe Edition. So look for it on Friday.
So what does that mean, though, the deluxe edition?
The Deluxe Edition is just my way of saying I redid the project and added a couple of things. I'm independent. So, I got written.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Got mouth to feed.
Get the deluxe.
Get the deluxe edition.
Get the Deluxe Edition.
So that's almost like when I go pay my cell phone bill, and it's $144, and I give them $145. Deluxe. And $1 credit pays off. All right, so get the deluxe edition. That's available on Friday, but you will also be able to see Carrone Jones tomorrow. Tomorrow, you already saw a snippet of it tonight, but you'll see her tomorrow as well at the Women's Challenge Fall Festival.
Challenge Fall Wine Fest. All right.
Fall Wine Fest.
Thank you so much. All right. So,
Okay, so we are going to talk about more about the Fall Wine Fest because they have fashion fair is going to be there, right? Okay, so fashion fair is going to be there tomorrow. This one's going to be lit. Kym is getting a makeover. We're taking proceeds or donations. What is it doing? It's a love offering.
yeah.
We're taking a love offering for Kym for fashion fair. Sorry, Matt won't be there. But it'll be fashion fair. They will still beat you for the gold. I know I'm paying them extra 20 to do that. So we are about to bring up the. Okay, this is what you call a headline. This is what you call a headline.
This is going to be a deluxe intro.
This is a deluxe intro. This is a deluxe intro.
set.
So you've
Deluxe
never
set.
seen this before.
No.
You probably never seen me sing on camera before because I hide my vocal. Because under contract with Sony, I can't sing. So, and I don't have my scarf.
Wait. Just give them those. You can't give us just a little bit.
Okay,
Just
a
a
little bit. Okay.
But wait, just
A little bit. You want me to take a little bit of vulnerable?
you better push it. You better push it.
So push them up on stage. I can't do that. But anyway, tomorrow's headliner, the main attraction
Yes.
is going to be the man, one, the only local person who grew up here in PG County, but our very own Kenny Lattimore. All right, everybody. Kenny Lattimore.
Kenny Lattimore.
He's sitting right here. Kenny Lattimore. And he's sitting right here, looking snatched in the shirt.
Somebody need
I'm about to lose a button. And you snatched in the shirt. That's real shady, man. That's real shady, but I'm going to let it slide this time. I'll let it slide this time. So, Kenny Lattimore.
Yeah.
You're here. You're going to be at the Fall Wine Festival tomorrow. And, lending your talent, giving your talent for the Women's Challenge.
Yes.
Tell us about that. What got you involved with the Women's Challenge?
One, I met.
And before you start,
Yes.
if she start looking too Google-wise, just,
Oh, that's sweet.
scoot over, scoot back, or something like that. I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know her insurance plan. I don't know what she's going to do.
I appreciate
But anyway, no.
it.
So what got you involved?
I got a letter, I believe, initially, and it was telling me about the Women's Challenge. And one thing that I'm really big on is our community. And when you're talking about resources and information and bringing wholeness to our community, using whatever resources we have, I think that's one of the most important things that anybody could ever do. I have a foundation that it's a totally different genre. It's with more of the children using arts and education and mentoring to change their lives. So, and I know what it's like starting out, and it's tough.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest things you can do, but it's so worth it. And I met Miss Lorraine, who runs everything, and who was a sweetheart to me. We did some TV together, and I got a chance to just hear her from her heart, why she had started. And so being here was great. Then what was really amazing, I get to come home. She set up an incredible band to perform with me, and I had a rehearsal with them. And that's not easy either, because I'm telling you, when I come in to see your band,
Right. That's right.
you never know what you're going to get. Top notch. I have to admit, it was top notch. When I left out, I even told the band member, y'all are really good. This is going to be all right. So no, tomorrow's going to be really wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. We've been doing television. We have television really early tomorrow morning as well. But I wanted to come by and just say hello to all of you that are supporting everybody. You know, get as many people to come out tomorrow and be a part of it. Not only will you not regret the show itself and all of the wonderful talent, we just saw some of the wonderful talent too that's going to be joining me, but at the same time, the fact that we get to do something great for our community. Right.
For our, so you say our community,
Yes.
because you are from the DMV.
I am from the
From the D to M, from the B. Where are you from?
I am from the D.
Okay.
And then I finished my education in the M.
Mm.
Maryland. I was a Maryland Distinguished Scholar for singing. Yeah. Classical music. We'll talk about that tomorrow too. So.
I'll get some class.
You do classical
You know
music?
what?
I went from one class to the next. I went to the class I was called.
So you have a new project coming out.
I have a new project. It's called Vulnerable. It's actually out now. We're just starting the promotion of it. The promotion has been led by a single called Push.
Yeah.
And Push is, it's been a lot of fun to sing. I call it my grown man apology song. It's really, when it was written, it had nothing to do with my personal life. It was a song that was just about something that everybody goes through. But, you know, the more you're involved in something, I started thinking to myself, do I have a push story? And I was like, I think I do have a push story. I was living here, getting ready to go to New York to start my career. And I was dating this young lady for 2 years. And when I was getting ready to make the transition to New York, I did not think that she would be able to handle the grind and what I was going to go through. And I pushed her away, which is an immature, very passive-aggressive move. But a lot of us do it in immaturity when we're younger, a lot of your college days or whatever, you're still trying to figure things out. And I talked with her about it 15 years later. 15 years later. And I said to her, I said, well, I know you probably think, you know, whatever happened to us? You know, what really happened? And I told her, I said,
And so
you know,
what did I say?
I don't know her insurance plan, I don't know what meds she's on, I don't know if she's taking.
But she did. She forgave me. She said, well, actually, she said, you know what? I could have handled it.
Oh, okay.
Now, whether that's the truth,
Right.
the fact that I didn't allow her to participate in that decision was an issue, and part of my growth and wholeness. So when we start talking about women's challenge and wholeness for women, I think that part of that also has to do with the men that are around and whether we treasure you, whether we see the significance of your existence as a power, as an energy, as a person, as a human being in the situation. You know? So having that conversation with her, I think it brought some closure. So I laugh a lot of times and say, well, when I'm singing Push, for all those good women out there that never got an apology, I give you the grown man apology.
Thank you.
Thank you. I already gave an apology before. I tried to warn you. Wouldn't push your seat back. So, okay, look, so while we got Kenny here, we're going to take just a few questions from the audience out there. So anyone that has a question, if you want to come up to the mic, tell us who you are, and give us your question.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome. First off, hello.
Let's turn it around so we can hear.
You don't age.
Oh, wow, thank you.
So, my name is Melanie Hill. I'm with BaltimoreBlack.com and
BaltimoreBlack.com and
International
Baltimore
Black Guy.
All right.
So, I want to ask you, with the state of R&B today and the way the music is more like, I won't sleep with your sister and I'm going to cheat on you, but I'll come back home. Do you think real R&B can really make a comeback like the kind of music you make?
I think it can. I'm not sure if you all have been following the explosion that just happened yesterday. I was in New York last night. I had no idea this was going to happen, but the incredible Stephanie Mills went on a show called Sister Circle, and she began the discussion. So all of a sudden, I found myself in the middle of this big discussion because she says, Kenny Lattimore, and I'm like, oh. So I think that it's all about what we choose to support. I think there are a couple of things. Stephanie brought up the fact that there is overt and covert racism in the music industry.
Absolutely.
It has always existed. And it's sexism, it's all kinds of, as a woman going in, there's even greater difficulties because if you're not naked on the stage singing, or if you get pregnant, you're penalized in the industry. It's so much stuff that we don't talk about, but now that the sexual harassment stuff is coming around, I think people are, particularly women, are gaining their voice and feeling more supported so they can talk the truth. The R&B music can stay alive if we support it.
Absolutely.
We almost have to look for it, which is not totally fair. But when we were kids, little kids, if a new record came out, you were at the store on whatever day it was, Tuesday, whatever, whose album's coming out? Ooh, I gotta hear it. Now we know that we're in an environment where the music stores don't exist in the same capacity. We know that the information, we are now adults, so we have more responsibility. So it's not really fair to say, let's not cater to the adult, because the adults are not buying the music, but the kids are. The adults really have the income.
Right.
When I go out to do a show, the adults not only buy the CD, maybe multiple CDs, buy dinner, buy the ticket to the show, buy whatever, they have the income. So to me, it's a matter of the industry considering the fact that the adult consumer, particularly the African American dollar, as adults, is so powerful that we need to be spending more time trying to figure out how do we market. Where are you? Where do you want your music? How do we come to you? That's really what it comes down to. How do we? And maybe you have answers to that. Maybe this room can give us some suggestions for how do we engage you so that when a vulnerable comes out, if they're not going to play my song on the radio, how do I still engage you so that I know where you are?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I steal a look?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And see, I'm about to push.
Next question.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hey
how
Kenny.
you doing?
Good. I'm Tyra Hill of the Tyra Hill Show, radio show, and Women Talk Live TV talk show.
Wonderful.
I am so excited to be in front of you tonight because I am a fan.
Thank you.
However, I'm going to remain professional. My question for you is, with this new project, congratulations.
Thank you.
I consider you a vocal beast.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh. Who can we expect collaborations with? Who produce? You got any young up-and-coming producers, any old school producers? What can we expect? Because I'm excited.
Great question. Interesting enough, on this album, the only collaboration was with one of the producers. I chose to mentor on this album.
Good.
And I took a producer out of Houston. His name is Drakkar Wesley.
Okay.
And Drakkar Wesley did a song on my last album called Love Me Back that became a big top 10.
Great song.
Thank you. So with him doing that, we did my Christmas album next.
Yeah.
He was a part of that. He did a couple of songs. And we were sitting in a room just creating one day, and we had 2 songs maybe done for this album. And I said, you know what, I'm going to give you this project like this. This is going to be your Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Hey,
Now,
that's a major moment.
right, and he didn't know what that was, though. Too young. But for those of you that don't know, you may not be a part of the music industry, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis we know they're huge from Janet Jackson's album. But prior to Janet Jackson, it was the SOS band. And they were fired from Prince because they were not available to perform with Prince because they were producing. And that is, we know them as producers. We don't even think of them as much as performers, but they're amazing performers. Drakkar Wesley is an incredible writer. I was so happy to extend the project. I just said, here, this is your project.
But that's dope.
Yeah.
Because we need more artists like you that's willing to pull back and pull up. One last question. If you could do a collaboration, a duet with any female, who would it be?
Me.
Wow. At this time, because it changes. It changes quite a bit. The last album I had Layla Hathaway.
Yes.
I had Kelly Price.
Yes.
I had Shanice. Legacy.
Oh, that would be good. Let us see. You need to see that happen. Thank you for answering my question. My fine husband over here, but can I have a hug? He ain't gonna pick you up. Thank you, congratulations.
And I should say that, and I appreciate that question so much. And I didn't know, sometimes things happen and you kind of look back and you go, I wasn't really smart enough to know this was going to be significant. But it was just in my spirit at the time. And when I did give the project to Drakkar, I felt like I needed him just as much as he needed me. Because we're talking about different generations of adults.
Yes.
When I have somebody say, oh, I grew up on your music, which sounds like, whoa, you grew up. And they might have been 10 years old before you came out. And now they're 30 or whatever, and they're ready to get married, which means that there's a new connection.
Right, you're bridging the gap.
It's bridging the gap.
Yeah.
So for me, I needed somebody that respected my past, but understood this generation and what the adults of this generation, he's 28. And I wanted to know, so I think he did an amazing job putting together.
He all grown man now.
Okay, next question.
Yes, hi.
Hello guys, hi. So my name is Tawanda Carter, and I'm nobody's wife. I'm going to give you one of my
All right.
guys from my part. So I'm a part of Nobody's Wife. We're later for that because it's all about him. So I've always admired you. My favorite album is Things That Lovers Do. The question that I wanted to ask you was, we believe at Nobody's Wife, one of our topics was music in the African American community. I felt personally that music is what strengthens and moves on the African American community, and we see it throughout history. What would you say for that community now, because of the way the youth are and how music is changing, and it is very relatable to them? But what is that we can do to bring just R&B and love songs back? And because Things That Lovers Do, I thought I was so in love off of that.
Right.
I was in love, like, yeah. And you don't get that from young people anymore. They're angry. And they're always mad, and the music is angry. And I say, what can we do to transition and bring that back? You're amazing. You're an amazing artist.
Wow, I was in love in that project too.
Well, I know. We're not going to even talk about that. I know. You and I were married in my mind. I was like, yeah, I was like, she can sing better than me, but not as good. And that's how you picked her instead of me. That's okay. Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. I think that we have to look at music and really understand that it is a part of the journey. It is just like a documentation of where we are in life. In the 60s, it was a different kind of, from what I understand from my research, and when I think about the things that my parents have told me, there was this free kind of, blue lights in the basement parties, and this is who they were as teenagers. It was a clean kind of fun. It was a lot more dancing. It was sex, but sex was like, it was taboo to throw it out there. So the music of that time reflects what they were living. I think it's unfortunate that the music that we are hearing reflects the lives of these kids. And the industry that we live in has decided to monetize and take advantage of the kids by exploiting some of the darkest parts of who they are. Television has decided to exploit our kids and our generation and our people, and all people, really. It's not even just black people. When you look at reality TV and all this other stuff, it's about fighting and drama and all kinds of different things, which is a part of life. But it's when the market is saturated with one thing and you get one dimension. As a black man in the music industry coming up, I can tell you one of the most difficult things that I had to deal with was the fact that I was an R&B singer and I was singing, "For you I give a lifetime of stability.
Right.
I'm never too busy for you." And can we find forgiveness in the throes of our misunderstanding? Those are just a couple of lyrics. The industry, a lot of the industry looked at me and they said, "We don't get it."
Wow.
They said, "We don't get it because I'm a black man."
Wow.
Offering stability.
Offering stability.
Right.
And as a result, they didn't know how to market me. It was easier for them, and I'm going to say this person's name, not because I think they did a phenomenal job and they did love songs too, but they needed me to be more sexual and animalistic as a black man for them to understand me. So my brother, who's my friend too, and I love him to death, Maxwell, it was easier for them to figure out how to market him, figure out when he was doing beautiful music. Yeah, he did the imaging and all the other stuff, but it was like they had to figure out how to market me. instead of, and I used to go to them all the time, and I'd say, well, I'm like a male version of what Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey is doing. Right. They couldn't figure out how to make that work with their image of what a black man was. Okay, all of these are real issues in life. So when we talk about this generation and the music, I think that a lot of the kids are not as in love with what you think they're in love with. I have a 14-year-old son, and he listens to all of the hip-hop stuff. But if I had a conversation with him about music, really, now you might say, well, he might be more sophisticated because he comes from a music household. Not sure. I mean, this is just some conversation to have. I don't have the answers to everything. But the music that he decides to listen to is music that sounds like old school hip hop, like Tribe Called Quest. There's somebody named what were you gonna say?
I said somebody name. You sound like me trying to listen to myself.
Oh, you like he likes Daniel Caesar.
Okay.
Although my son will still say he's not really a singer, but he is. My 14-year-old will break it down like that. Well, he's not a singer, but his song is great, and I like his sound because everyone has an individual sound. But then there's some people he understands can sing out of nothing, and you know, and they have a different type of gift. But in terms of hip hop, there's another artist that he mentioned to me the other day, and I can't remember the name of the artist. But I listened to it, and I was like, oh. You could be listening to Tribe then, or to Talib Kweli, you know. And he liked the message in the song, and he liked the cadence and everything, but then also the music was really old school, which was new to him. So a lot of times I think kids get into whatever they're introduced to.
Yes.
I listen to Shaka and Stevie and all kind of stuff. Then I listen to classical. Then I listened to jazz. Then I listened to rock. We didn't have the separation growing up. I know most of you in this room, or maybe half of you in the room may remember when if we listened to radio, you know, we were out there, we built this city. And it was like, oh, but at the same time you come home and then all of a sudden, you know, something else from the 80s was on, Beach Street, and all the hip hop was there.
Because my daughter knows you only from Things That Lovers Do because I sang it to them. And she said tonight, who's Kenny Lattimore? And I said, Kelly, Things That Lovers Do. She was like, oh, so that's my daughter, Kelly, there. She's hired. There she is. Yes.
So that means you've done something. You've exposed her to something.
Yeah.
Take her out of that. So you're a part of that healing. Yes, thank you.
Here I am. Call me, guys.
Thank you.
Nobody's white. You have to watch me. It's great.
I don't want to be too long-winded.
No, that's great.
We're going to have disclosure. Y'all ain't going to keep coming for me. He told you, bro, the song for me. Stop it.
I told y'all, we know her man. You don't know what insurance plan she's on, or anything like that. Next question.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great.
Wonderful.
Doing a great job so far. Nice to meet you. So first off, when you are Aries.
Yeah.
Shout out to Aries.
I'm Team Scorpio. November 3rd.
What's your name?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
My name is DH, the hit writer on behalf of the DH Experience. So I did my research and I see that you've been doing things for about almost 30 years now. Congrats to you and all of your success.
A lot of people are like, is it 20-something? No, it's actually been 30.
Yes, see, I was on it. So I just wanted to ask, with everything that you've accomplished, do you feel like there's still something that you haven't accomplished that you would like to? And what do you want your legacy to be?
Absolutely, I feel like even with this album, Vulnerable, that there's some territory that I need to go into still. It feels like at this stage of my life, after all these years, that I'm finally in a balanced place musically, meaning, because I was just talking about all the genres of music that I listened to growing up, I found a way to tell my story authentically in my show, and you'll hear some of it tomorrow, where I'm able to talk and perform the different genres all in one set. That's been a very powerful thing for me because again, wasn't smart enough. If I had thought about it and I was smart enough, I would have done it many years ago. But at this time in my life, I guess it was perfect timing. This is when the moment was supposed to happen, where I'm able to talk about life, I'm able to talk about what my experience is so that you understand why the genres exist in my entire life. And being able to do all of the genres is not an easy thing either. To really authentically be able to stand up to a classical piece and then do a jazz piece and do a gospel piece, and for the people who absolutely adore those genres to respect you in it is a challenge within itself. And I had to look outside of some of the success and do like Oprah said, dream a new dream.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to dream a new dream because I did get to a point where I had fallen out of love with the industry because pretty much I had accomplished what I was going to accomplish. I was looking for what is the deeper meaning. And I realized that my musical legacy will always be to sing to the hearts of women and to the minds of men, to encourage us in love. And the reason why I say it that way is because women generally take in things from a more emotional, detailed, and creative standpoint. And then we as men are very analytical about things and kind of we kind of go right in, you know. So I want to break through those barriers to encourage us to embrace each other's differences, to understand how to support one another in relationship and in love. That I think that's what my music and everything really has always been about. Thank you so much. Yay!
Don't let my husband so tight, please. I thought she was nobody's wife. Until tonight. That's good.
Right here.
Okay, take my gun.
I love it.
Seize the moment.
I love this, you know, this because it's intimate, you know, and when it's intimate, you don't have to have the barriers and everything, so I love it, I appreciate
Just
it.
everyone saying hello.
Any next question?
Oh, you got scared?
You scared them off.
Question is, why do y'all run?
Why are you guys running?
No.
Okay.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to the performance tomorrow. Again, thank you for taking good care of me while I've been home. And I'm here to get some sleep so I can sing in the morning. Y'all tune in the morning.
Yes.
What's our show tomorrow? What's our,
Oh Lord.
you
We're
know
gonna be
right
in
off?
DC.
It's what channel is this?
It's what is it? Live phone. Look.
Yeah, I'm like
DC Live.
DC Live.
Okay.
But we're going to be on live in the morning. I'm going to get this thing together, and we're going to sing live, and we're going to talk about our event tomorrow for Women's Challenge. This wonderful fall wine. Well, we don't call it fall now. It's winter wine and music festival. So I look to see everybody there.
We're looking to see everybody there, so you guys come out, show up. If you're on Facebook or something like that, share this page, share the video. We dropped a lot of knowledge. Actually, everybody that came on the stage dropped a lot of knowledge. From Leonard to Orville, Lorraine, Carrone, and now we have you here dropping us some knowledge and sharing some wisdom. I share wisdom about Kym. I also share wisdom about having a gym membership and not using it, wearing things, and down to that bottom button. I don't know who in specifically. Somebody going down in a minute. But no, definitely come out tomorrow. Check him out tomorrow. He's gonna be on
Purchase your tickets
DC
tonight
Live.
because tomorrow is going to be a little bit more.
DC Live, yeah. So
There's gonna be more. We got some.
tickets gonna be more at the door, so definitely go online tonight.
Tonight.
Get your tickets while you
We're
can.
looking up for a sell-out.
Yes.
For the Women's Challenge.
With a purpose.
And remember that, your purchase, it's also tax deductible, so you can, write that off on your taxes. There is a wine clause, so don't try and drink too much. Because me and the 5 I'm bringing, we made sure. Because I gotta get my bill. But anyway, everybody, I know Orville's gonna be there. I know Carrone, you're gonna be there. There's some other singers, Penny Sway's gonna be there. You're gonna be there, I believe, am I opening? Don't just give me a chair like. But no, look. Thank you so much.
It's a
for coming
pleasure.
out. It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you so much.
I definitely ain't got a man.